Hello everyone, my name is Sniperjet and today I'm going to be making a ephemeral hecarim guide for a ephemeral deck because well, as you can see here, hold on, just 1 second. Oops, not there. Here, I'm a hecarim main with 33k points already on him, and so today I will be making a deck guide as to how you want to make an ephemeral deck if you're ever interested in making one. So, well, of course, it's a new deck. So you want to first start with the very first component cards of your deck. You know why you basically want the cards that you want your deck to be built around, of course. So of course we have here this standard. We're gonna go Eternal. We're gonna go with Hecarim, of course. 3 copies of Hecarim, and I would say always bring in Sharks. Sharks are super good, especially since they have the last breath, which is the next time an ephemeral ally attacks without me attacking. So you could have an empty entire board and you just copied this card a bunch of times and played it, or resummoned it a bunch of times. You can attack with just one ephemeral ally and a bunch of sharks can just appear. And you also want to add ephemeral buffs to put aggression towards your opponent. So I would say Soul Shepherd. Oops, come on. Soul. Just right Soul. There you go. Soul Shepherd is also a good card since it grants any ephemeral ally you summon +1/+1, which is like this is like the most like main important thing you want in your deck. uh, these 3 cards, which are, in my opinion, some of the best in a hecarim deck. You also, if you want to, you can add like Soul Cleaves. I would like to add 3 copies of Soul Cleave. What Soul Cleave basically does is kills an allies and summons 2 ephemeral copies of it. This, of course, synergizes with Hecarim since, well, he is the ephemeral champion. And if you use that on Shark Chariot, you can kill 1 shark and summon 2 more, and then whenever you attack with those 2 other sharks, you can then summon that shark you already killed because of the last breath effect, and you can just go galactic and go big and wide while attacking. So there's that. Oops, hold on. There we go. And then next you want to either add Zed, I would say, or Azir, because they both summon ephemeral allies anytime you attack. Only this guy's more like Azir's more like a guy that stands behind and doesn't really attack. While Zed is the one that attacks during whenever he's played. But only problem is that it depends on what kind of deck you're running. So if you want to like create a ephemeral deck with Zed Hecarim, which is like the most popular version of Hecarim or ephemerals, and yeah, I do just play all 3 copies of Zed. Only problem is that Zed is a 3/2 and he can easily be removed with pinks and whatnot. But he could pop off, but most of the time this isn't really the shining card of the whole deck or the star of the deck. The real star is mostly Hecarim and his sharks and just trying to draw the correct cards. So you could either go to the road of making a Sand Soldier deck, but this time I'm making a casual Zed Hecarim deck, which is, in my opinion, the best ephemeral deck to exist as of right now, although it got rotated. And so, yeah, you have like all 3 copies of Hecarim and all 3 copies of Zed, all 3 copies of Soul Cleave, Soul Shepherd, and Shark Chariot. And now you just want to start adding cards to, well, help you stay alive during the game. So I would say some great cards to do that is with the massive tentacle creature, the 3 mana 5/5 with Ephemeral. If I get to find it here real quick. I can't find it. Hmm. There it is, Dark Water Scourge, which helps you stay in the game. Because it has a lifesteal and it's a cheap unit to play. The best combo I would say with this card is by far the 3 mana spell, I believe. Yep, 3 mana spell, Death Mark. Because Death Mark, what it does is removes the ephemeral status from an ally to grant it to an enemy. So it's like, to say the enemy is an unknowing unit on board. Well, you can just use this on with Darkwater Scourge, which is a great combo. And well, now you have, although you have spent 6 mana on a 5/5 with lifesteal, it's still good that you remove one of your opponent's units at the end of the round, but you also get uh 6 mana 5/5 with lifesteal, which is just pretty good in just 6 mana. So I would say like all 3 copies of those. The Stalking Shadows, I would say, is also a good pick. Maybe like two as two of, because sometimes you run out of cards and well you don't really have enough burn and you sort of run out of steam. So I would say Stalking Shadows is a great card to add to like get copies of more of Sharks or even Dark Warrior Scourge to give you more life in the game. Or even Soul Shepherd, so you can copy Soul Shepherds and even attack with it. I would say I always add a one off with this card, which is the Harrowing. It's such a good card because apart from all the allies that are summoned, which are six. Let me first read the card first. Revive the 6 strongest allies that died this game and grant them Ephemeral. So yeah, it literally does that. It is revive the 6 strongest allies and grant them all Ephemeral. And it's such a good card in an Ephemeral deck because, well, whenever hecarim levels, he grants all Ephemeral allies whenever they are summoned +3/+3. He doesn't give them everywhere. It just gives your Nexus an ongoing effect of all Ephemeral allies that have been summoned +3. So I would say 1 copy of Harrowing is quite enough. Having two copies of a 10 mana card in a burn deck or an aggro deck, sort of mid-rangey, and sometimes isn't really a good idea. Another great card I would say is maybe one of Atrocity. It's more like a alternate win con with like ephemerals and whatnot. Although I wouldn't say it's like my number one pick, but if you want, you can just remove it. But I would say Atrocity is a great card, and sometimes, most of the times, really. Next, I would say is some removal too. Apart from yes, the Death Mark is pretty good removal. I would say adding at least 2 copies of Vengeance is pretty good. 3 copies is more overkill. You sort of are going for one archetype. So going with just 2 copies of Vengeance or like extra protection and staying alive during the game is pretty well important. And of course, I can't forget one of the most important cards in any ephemeral deck, especially with Ionia, is Dragon Ambush, which starts a free attack with 2 Dragon Links. And this card becomes extremely good whenever you just have this one card left in your hand. Your opponent's like, oh no, he cleared my entire board with just one attack. And then you just play the Dragon Ambush and you just attack again with a bunch of more ephemeral allies. Plus, it can grant you a lot of healing, so it's pretty good. So, like 3 copies of Dragon Ambush is quite enough. Next, I would say is like 1 copy of Deny to like staying alive and stop any sneaky spell any that the opponent might just throw at you. It's more like a safety measure, and to stop any the opponent from playing any spells that will aid them. A lot of players like to play Camo and Soldier since it is a 3 drop that summons a 1/1 mist, which is ephemeral, and it's pretty good, I guess, in a ephemeral deck. But I seriously wouldn't really use it, or at least I don't really use it because it is pretty good card, but I mean I guess so. Yeah, it's great with Soul Cleave. I'm just talking nonsense at this point. So yeah, I would say Camo War and Soldier is a pretty good 3 drop in this kind of deck, because if you Soul Cleave a Camo War and Soldier after summoning him on just turn 3, if the one If you are attacking on turn 3 and the opponent has like no units at all, you can just get in there and do a free 15 damage and just will probably have your opponent surrender, hopefully. And I will also say 2 copies of Opulent Four, which is a landmark that summons a ghastly band, which is ephemeral and grants Hallow proc, which is after I die for the rest of the game, when allies attack, Hallow your first attacker, giving a +1 that run for every Hallow stack you have. So let's say 16 Hallowed units have died. That means the first attacker will get that 16 buff. And the thing is, this is great with hecarim because hecarim has overwhelm, and will overwhelm those excess damage that is done to a blocker towards the enemy nexus, and that's pretty good whenever you could do extra damage. A lot of times before, I would add Phantom Prankster. I would say Phantom Prankster is a little bit of a slow card. So, like I said, it really depends on what kind of deck you're going for. Now, Moonlight Glen Cleaver is a card. I'm not a big fan of it, although it does provide and help you with removal. And well, it buffs cards, but spending 3 mana for just to grant grant ephemeral allies +1 instead of +1/+1. You're like, oh, +1/+1's pretty much useless to give them +1/+1 when they're just gonna die. The thing is, this is 2 mana, it's a lot cheaper, and you don't have to spend and take up another extra card slot to activate this card's Nightfall effect. So I'm not a big fan of Moonlight Glenkeeper. A lot of decks use it, and turns out it's pretty good, but I'm not a big fan of it, so I don't really use it. And I would say like 1 copy of Haunted Tomb. It's like as you just play it there, like your strongest unit dies, you place it in there. The opponent can't really stop it unless they have like landmark removal. But Haunted Tomb is just there, staying there, doing nothing but waiting to revive the strongest dead ally. And if the opponent can't stop the landmark, you'll just have the strongest allies resurrected, and you can just attack. Hopefully, it's ephemeral or it's a hecarim. And if you attack, you just storm the enemy with a bunch of sharks. A lot of players like to add not removal spells, protection spells from other players, such as Twin Disciplines. Like they always run like a 3 off of Twin Disciplines to protect Zed. In my opinion, it's not worth it. Although it's a pretty good card, no. But Syncopation is a pretty good card because it swaps 2 allies, so whenever you're attacking, you can't really switch them around in the order. But with Syncopation, you can probably like ulti the opponent with Hecarim and switch Hecarim up. So I would say that's a pretty good card to add. I would also say add Draw, because Draw is extremely important in decks that run out of steam quite quickly. So adding Draw is quite important here. We're going a little bit over the limit, but I'm going to try to delete some copies of some cards or some cards completely that we don't really need. And the next, I would say the Shadow Apprentice is a pretty good one. It just does a bunch of enemy tick damage to the Nexus. Not really tick damage, he can grow out of control very quickly. So I would say Shadow Apprentice is a pretty good 1-drop in a ephemeral deck because he gets +1 with just +1 for every ephemeral ally you summon, and he's just pretty good overall. I would also argue to add the 2 mana weapon, where is it? The Darkened Fan, because apart from it summoning a Dragonling, you can also summon 3 copies. Well, 1 copy is non-ephemeral, but 2 copies of this card. You spend 9 mana to get 2 ephemeral copies of Prada Breachwalker with different keywords and whatnot. But yeah, it's very good for staying alive in the early game. I would say maybe like add 2 copies of it. Now we're 6 cards over. So in this case, I would just start deleting several cards that, well, we don't really need. Also, like take out atrocity, I guess. Take out one copy of Soul Cleave. Having 3 Soul Cleaves isn't very good overall. The Dark Event is like a must. Sharks too. Glimpse Beyond, you sort of need a lot of draw, especially in this kind of deck. I'm between either removing Chemivore and Soldier or taking out the combo of Deathmark and Dark Water Scourge. Although it's a pretty good combo, I'm really unsure. I would say take out Chemivore and Soldier. Thing is, the combo doesn't always work. We do get a lot of lifesteal from Dragon Ambush and whatnot. I would say like take out like Chemivore and Soldier. And let's see. You might say like take out Haunted Tomb, but Haunted Tomb does give a few value. But yeah, I'll just take Haunted Tomb out. Yeah, that's a good ephemeral deck in my opinion, and we're gonna try it out. Probably will suck, because well, ephemeral decks don't really get a lot of love. I'm gonna try it against the AI, because well, if you lose it against that, the AI truly sucks. Okay, looks like we're going against Plunder, AI Plunder. You got hecarim. We don't. So, what you want to mulligan for is for Sharks and Dragon Ambush to say. But Dragon Ambush isn't really needed right now. Although, actually, since we are going against a sort of aggro deck, we sort of do need Dragon Ambush. I'm gonna take out Glimpse and Stalking Shadows and try to get some units in. Alright, the Foyer is very good, especially on turn 3 when defending, because we get value out of that card. So it looks like we have Shadow Presence on turn 1, which is pretty good. You get 1 damage in. Never mind, he's dead. Oh, that was a big mistake. I should have used Glimpse there. Yeah, that was my bad. That was a misplay.
Destruction feeds my fire.
Okay, I won't do that. Wait. Oh, that sucks. So we'll start with Scourge right here for some extra healing. Wait, we're in stones.
Dance in the flames.
There we go. Oh, here we go. Zed is a very good champion here. I would say Vengeance. Get flanked immediately. We play Zed here. I would say Zed.
I am the blade in the darkness.
Oh, I hate you. Luckily, we can just do this and. Sure. Alright, second hecarim. That means Zed. Not exactly good. Oh. Rex. I would say first Glimpse and then do this. to save him and to glimpse our unit ourselves.
Over here.
Now, it might look bad, you know, taking 7 in the face, but I don't think the AI will want to. Ooh, okay, not like this. So far, so good. We can hecarim's already leveled, just like that. Let's hope he doesn't have the very special card that I hate so much. No, it's just a ship. Oh, you're screwed now. Look how powerful this is. Sadly, we didn't get any sharks, so we weren't able to summon a bunch of shark army, but well, this is probably quite enough. It's not. Not to worry, I have Dragon Amnesty. This is what I mean. Sometimes, attacking with a bunch of ephemerals isn't always enough, and sometimes you just need a bunch of sharks. What? Let me just play this. There we go, we won the game. So yeah, that's all for today. It's a pretty long video too, and I never thought it was going to be that long. But yeah, thanks for watching, I guess, and hope you have a good day.